No, she's calling on defense.
Oh!
ASB Lils, and listen to my brother on HipHop and Homeruns.com.
Okay, it's your boy D-Lils. We're here, HipHop and Homeruns.com. It's been a long wait, a long time. We have a lot to get into and not a lot of time. It's in 3 years, $27 million. I have to address that for one, because this gives me some credibility. You want to talk about my article right now, and just so we can be sure, let's go to the website. If you go to hiphopandhomeruns.com right now, okay, and if you scroll down, the first article I have is about Kawhi Leonard. The second article, dated June 9, 2014. Bags fly free, top 5 destinations for Lance Stephenson. I talk about this. I say that the top 5 destinations, number 3, Charlotte Bobcats, which will now be the Hornets. Charlotte Hornets. I don't know if, and I quote, this is Don Lilly's article. I don't know if Mike is a Lance guy, but if he doesn't object, immediately pay that man. Adding Lance to this roster creates a New York City backcourt of Kemba and Lance that will be guaranteed to sell out Time Warner Cable Arena again and again. Not only would the backcourt be exciting, but teams are forced to leave Al Jefferson in the paint alone, and if not, they have to deal with the high velocity attacking guard combination. Lance is an upgrade over Gerald Henderson, and because of the weak East, look to see this team finish out at a 5th seed or better. I'm telling you right now, great pickup, Mike. Great pickup. They're trying to get Gordon Hayward. I'm not sure if Jazz matched that offer yet. We'll have to verify that, but I'm telling you right now, Kemba there, Al Jefferson, drafting the kid from Indiana. No. They're looking real good. And we'll talk about my East top 5 right now in the East and West. But I had to address that first. Hey, I know what I'm talking about. I know basketball. I know football. I know a little bit about baseball. I know a little bit about lacrosse. I know track and field. Listen, when it comes around football time and I'm putting my sports bets, if you really want to make money this season, tune in to HipHopandHomeruns.com podcast. Listen to the YouTube page. I'll post these videos. I'll post my predictions for free. This is before I'm charging to give you raw footage. Take advantage while you can. Anyway, let's keep it moving. I have some live updates throughout the show. I'm always going to bring it to you. Of course, this is recorded, just so you know, and then we're uploading it online. But I try to give you updates when I can. We always have SportsCenter, the worldwide leader, around the clock. But if I keep giving you these off-season predictions, I think ESPN needs to give me a call. I'm telling you right now, do it before I link up with BET. I'm telling you. So, I have some recording from a couple weeks ago. I'm out at the shore in Jersey, and for the Key family reunion, and I have some footage. Here is my pops, Don Sr., talking about his NFL predictions in both the NFC and AFC. Here's a few clips. Last year's Cincinnati Bengals.
No.
So in other words, you think there's going to be 2 NFC or AFC North teams that make the playoffs this year?
I do.
So while we're on that, why don't we go to your AFC playoff predictions this season? Let's start with your divisional winners. So you already said the AFC North. You have the Cincinnati Bengals winning the AFC North?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let's go to the AFC South. Who is your AFC South winner?
That's a little cloudier. I'm not sure about that one.
Well, you're on HipHopandHomeruns.com, so let's go with your guess at this point. You're saying Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts are probably going to win the AFC South?
That's what. Yes. That's a safe bet.
Safe to say that. Okay. Let's go to the AFC West. Who do you have winning the AFC West?
Indianapolis.
You just said Indianapolis is going to win the AFC South. How can they win two different divisions?
I mean, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting.
Denver Broncos?
I keep forgetting Peyton's with Denver.
It's with the
days.
Broncos.
Yeah,
Okay, so you went same quarterback. Okay, and then AFC East, who do you have?
I have Jets this year. Surprise, people. Jets.
Okay, so let's just recap. He has the Colts winning the AFC South, the Jets winning the AFC East, the Broncos winning the AFC West, and the Cincinnati Bengals winning the AFC North. And who do you have your two wild card teams sneaking in from the AFC? The Cleveland Browns is your last wild card team, and who's your other wild card team?
Kansas City probably be back.
Okay, so we have two people coming out of the AFC West in Kansas City and Denver. Okay, so basically you have Denver getting a first round bye, I presume.
Denver expecting the Super Bowl.
Denver expecting the Super Bowl. Who's the other team that gets them a first round bye?
Cincinnati will get a first round bye.
Cincinnati and Denver. Okay, so basically your first round playoff matchups are going to be the New York Jets playing the Indianapolis Colts. Woo! And then you have Geno Smith versus Andrew Luck, or Mike Vick versus Andrew Luck, depending on how the season folds out.
Mike Vick.
And then in the other playoff matchup, you have Kansas City Chiefs versus the who was that last team? Oh, the Cleveland Browns.
A lot of people think that New England will be there, but
so New England is going to miss the playoffs for the first time in 9 years.
New England was a little bit over their head last year. Everything came together after they lost so much. This year it's going to take its toll. They will not be there.
Okay, so yeah, I reported the two bold picks that the Swan gave you. The Jets will win the AFC North, and the Patriots will not make the playoffs. And Denver will be back in the Super Bowl. Those are the three predictions he gave you. Let's go to the NFC side. So, give me your NFC South winner.
That's going to be Tampa Bay.
He has Tampa Bay, another bold prediction. Give me your NFC West winner.
That's going to be San Francisco.
So he has San Francisco winning the NFC West. And he has Tampa Bay winning the NFC South. Okay, those are two shocking picks. Let's go to the NFC East this year. Who do you have winning that?
It really hurts me. It hurts me bad to say this. But my boys did not do what they were supposed to make it there.
Your boys can, for our followers at home, can you tell us who your team is?
I'm a diehard Cowboy fan.
Okay.
And they did not do what they were supposed to build their team. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say the Redskins.
Okay, so you have the Redskins coming out in top in the NFC East. Just want to confirm that. So we have Tampa Bay, Redskins, 49ers, and then in your NFC North, who do you have?
I'm going to have to go with Detroit.
So he thinks adding Jim Caldwell as your head coach, Megatron coming off another decent season at the Detroit Lions, this will be their year and they'll win the NFC North.
Realistically, it's never been about points. It's been about the defense stopping other people, and I think that's about to change.
So he thinks that Detroit will put a good defense on the field this year. Okay. So who are your two playoff wildcard teams coming from the NFC? What divisions are they coming from?
We're going to have Seattle.
Seattle will get into the playoffs once again, okay?
And people, I messed up the last couple of years, but the Falcons will be back.
Okay, so he has the Atlanta Falcons returning as the last wildcard team. Who are your first two round byes in the NFC? I'm assuming that you have 49ers having a bye?
49ers have a bye. People,
Tampa Bay.
People, you're not gonna like this. Redskins are gonna have a bye.
So the Redskins will be the outright number one team in the NFC at the end of the season.
They will be.
Bold prediction.
They will be.
Bold prediction. Okay, so Who out of the NFC do you have going to the Super Bowl?
I have the Falcons
Playing in the NFC Championship game against who?
against 49ers.
49ers versus Atlanta in the NFC Championship game, and who's going to the Super Bowl?
49ers.
So we have the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers, playing against Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos in this year's Super Bowl.
And Peyton Manning going on to coaching next year after this Super Bowl.
Peyton Manning rides out in the glory with his second NFL championship, and he retires after the season. You heard it first, HipHopHomeruns.com. Okay. So you had some interesting picks. So now that you put your picks, let's just go back and recap, because I got a couple questions for you as far as some of the teams that you selected. And Pop's thoughts on Tiger Woods.
I kind of figured it was going to happen. Tiger just came back. He was more so trying to test himself to see where actually he is. You don't come back from surgery and expect to be the very best. Actually, I'm kind of glad he didn't push himself, because it would take a little bit from him later on. So it was expected, but he needed the media to come to his tournament, and so this was a little ploy to make it happen.
So I told you I would mention, let's see, we're here 2.5 weeks into July now. A lot of moves have been made in NBA free agency. A lot of teams have gotten considerably better. A lot of teams, not so much. So my rankings, you have to take them with a grain of salt, because there's only so many moves been made. There's a lot of moves lurking in the background, which I do want to address. And really, let's see the summer play out before you condemn me for my preseason rankings. This is what I see this far. Okay, so if we go into it, when do we start? We always start with the West. Let's start with these. At number 5, re-signing Kyle Lowry was huge. I'm going with the Toronto Raptors. They come in as my number 5 best team, 5th best team in the East. Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. I'm really anticipating him having another all-star type of season. I'm not sure if Terrence Ross this is a huge year for him. Again, you just have to see. I'm banking a lot on Lowry that he keeps them competitive, and that because they finish out at I believe the 3rd spot in the East this year, I'm assuming that he's going to keep their record around that same area. Now that the East is a little bit more spread. So Toronto at number 5. Number 4, the Wizards. No doubt I can confidently say I have the DC Washington Wizards coming in them at number 4. You add Paul Pierce to the starting lineup with Beal and Wall, Nene, Gortat. I mean, easily they're getting you 50 games. Easily. You work on Otto Porter. Working Webster. Who they signed after John Wall? They had a nice pickup. Just so I can be certain, the Wizards signed I had the Martin Gortat signing, and I know about the Paul Pierce. Everything else must be alleged. There's another key signing that I believe they have at their backup point guard. Excuse me. That is going to end up being huge for them. So I'm really looking forward to that. More importantly, I want to see how Paul Pierce is really going to fit into this offense, getting up and down the court. I mean, the Wizards are up tempo, and that's not really suitable for him. So they're going to just bring him in late situations and just be a veteran. You know, there's a lot of times where I believe last year they could have beat Indiana in the playoffs and just didn't have that veteran leadership down the stretch. Couldn't close out possessions. I mean, they really looked like a bunch of young guys on the court last year late in games. So great addition. Number 3, Indiana is still going to be competitive. Now, put an asterisk next to Indiana. I don't know what's going to happen with Roy Hibbert. They've been trying to move him quietly. That's what rumors are saying. I really don't know what's going to happen with Roy Hibbert. But as long as you have David West and Paul George, you have Lance out of the locker room now. Again, until they get a star point guard, I can't see them winning the East, but they're good enough to be number 3. So, and whatever they get back for Hibbert will be either a great point guard or a knockdown scorer. They're going to get something great in return. So, regardless, I'm seeing that the Indiana Pacers finished 3rd best in the East. Okay, then you have Miami. I have Miami at number 2, and of course the Cavs at number 1. But before I get to the Cavs, you have Miami at number 2, and the reason why I have Miami at number 2 is because, or is due to the fact that Dwayne Wade, I expect him to have less games where he's not sitting out. In other words, I think he sat out 26 to 28 games this past season. I'm seeing him only sitting out for 12 to 14 this season. And this is why. He signed a 2-year contract not because he wanted to be like LeBron and a lot of other players who believe there will be a strike that year, the 2015-2016 season, or after that season, there's going to be allegedly a strike because of the new CBA. So if that happens and all these players are free agents, you don't know what may conspire after that. Now, Dwayne Wade isn't interested in playing that long. He's 32. He wanted a 2-year contract. Played 34. I think he's going to retire. He's going to get married this summer. I think guys are getting to the point where he's made plenty of money and he wants to enjoy it. He's loving life in Miami and wants to raise his family. Nothing wrong with that. So expect him to give you a tough 2 years. Chris Bosh offense will go through Chris Bosh. And you have Luol Deng, who will only take defensive possessions. He's not going to take, he's only going to give you 16, 17 a game. Chris Bosh is going to get the primary touches. And then you'll have Shabazz and Mario Chalmers, guys like that contributing 9 points, 10 points a game. They'll still be in it. And before I get to the Cavs, I also want to mention who got excluded, Chicago. Again, until I see Derrick Rose's health, until I can evaluate it myself, I plan on being at the USA games in August at MSG. If he's playing, I'll be able to give you a good estimate on whether or not I see Chicago back in the top 5 or not. As of right now, I don't have him in there. So, tough luck, Chicago. Pau Gasol, he's not Derrick Rose insurance. I'm telling you right now. All Pau Gasol does is gives you an opportunity to he really only gives you an opportunity to contribute from your front court. Something that Boozer wasn't doing. Boozer was not a reliable. Like I said, I think he was amnestied today. 13.6 points per game, 6.7 rebounds. You're not impressing me doing that. And really, Gasol just gives them. I mean, they had Gibson. He's gonna cut into Gibson's minutes a little bit, just like Boozer did. But that doesn't. Again, I don't really see where you're going with that. Tom Thibodeau and the Bulls. That without adding a premier guard, you don't make it into my top 5. The Cavs are number 1, and I'm gonna tell you why. Wiggins. Did anybody see that summer league game with him, Jabari? He looked good. He looked good. Now, this is the problem. Can you balance his ego? Of course, Wiggins has he already been signed to Nike? If he hasn't already, I'm sure that's coming, or Adidas, whatever one is coming. The signing is on the horizon. So, Wiggins playing with LeBron, all those shots coming easy for him. No double team. I mean, you're talking about guys really have to play solid defense. There's no doubt in my mind. At the point guard, that's already a problem. So your Derrick Roses, let's see, who else is in the East? That your John Walls, your Rondos, your top point guards in the East, having to deal with Kyrie at his best every night. I mean, that's gonna cancel you out. Your shooting guard, I told you, Dion Waiters has young B-Wade potential. And I think LeBron saw that. I think LeBron saw the potential for Dion to contribute 22 points. He has that type of talent. I'm telling you right now, Dion can contribute 22 points per game. Kyrie can give you 19 and 13. And all 3 of them can make it to the All-Star. Now, here's my issue. We know LeBron can give you anywhere from 20 points per game to 32, just depending on how they want to function on this team. Do you let Andrew come off the bench and give you 17 points per game off the bench? Because he can do that. And still, his star won't be out. It's not that his star is going to be outshined by LeBron, but he'll have his own place in outer space. I'll put it like that. It depends. If he's unselfish, the Cavs win a championship immediately. If not, I think they have a better chance with you having Wiggins coming off. Let's talk about what LeBron wants real quick. LeBron wants to take a breath. He wants a breather every now and then. He wants to come out of bounds and sit on the bench next to coach and his team still maintain a high level of play. Maybe he'd like to sit out in a couple of games and rest his body like all the other greats. Maybe he wants to play 10 more years. If you come off the bench and Andrew Wiggins comes in for you, there's not a large drop in the level of talent. Now, the player is much better, but defensively, you're still getting a great defensive player more than 80% of the league. So you're basically subbing a superstar out and subbing a good starter in. Versus you give up Thompson and Andrew, because to get Love, you're not going to be able to just give up Wiggins. They say you're going to have to give up more than that. So you're looking at Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Bennett, and most likely Thompson also for Kevin Love, and I know they're trying to get rid of Kevin Martin's contract. That's probably what it would be, and swap a pick in there. That's what you're looking at. Is that worth Andrew Wiggins? I'm telling you right now. Keep Andrew, let him come off the bench. Boom. Now you have a spark plug off the bench. I think they have a European kid that backs up Kyrie. Not sure of his name. But again, I'm sure they'll sign some people. They just signed Mike Miller. They're gonna have plenty of guards. As far as big men, Varejao, they're gonna have to learn a big guy to come over there and give them some depth. But if they don't trade Tristan Thompson, that's a great young 6'10", 6'11", long, strong, young, athletic big man who will block shots, and he doesn't really need offense from him. He's just going to play pure defense, and LeBron doesn't have to worry about that. So, coming up, we'll talk about my picks in the West. Here, you heard it first, HipHopHomeruns.com.